Wolf Gang. What's good in the hood? It's your boy Wolf back with another video for y'all, man. Hopefully y'all staying safe, staying out the way, all that good stuff. Today, I got advice for all my men that's in their 20s. All right, for all my young men in their 20s, this video is for you. All right, I'm gonna give you 10 pieces. I lied, 11 pieces of advice that, hey, if you take this advice, the rest of your life will go much, much smoother. All right. Some of these things I wish I would have known when I was in my early 20s. I'm 29, so I'm at the end of the 20s, but some of this stuff could have helped me out for real, for real. So before I get into it, hit that notification bell, hit that like button for the boy, and hit that subscribe button. Show your boy some love, man. All right, let's get into it. The first one, you should, in your 20s, you need to learn to love and accept yourself, right? The hardest thing to be in this world for people is themselves. Simple as that. Everybody's so easily influenced by others. You got social media, you got all these different things that influences people to act a certain way. It influences people to not be authentic, right? So one thing you have to do, you got to learn to accept yourself and love yourself. You got to love who you are, because if you don't, you have a tough life. You're going to have a tough life. Because for one, the world may be against you, right? It's going to be a lot of people who are against you in this world, okay? So if you don't love yourself, right, then damn. That's all I can say, damn. Learn to love yourself. Learn to. The next thing you need to know in your 20s, man, you got to learn how to say no. This will stop you from having so much stress, so much unnecessary time wasted, right? Sometimes people don't know how to say no. They become like yes men and shit, and they just say yes, 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 and they do things for other people and say yes even when they want to say no, right? It's no point in you bending over backwards for other people, right? Unless it's some family every now and then, but even then, you got to learn how to tell your family no, especially, right? It's better for your mental health too, because you won't feel like you're claustrophobic. You won't feel like everybody's closing in on you, right? Asking you to do this, do that, do that, do that. All you gotta do is say no. Them two letters is so powerful. If only people just learn how to say no and say it confidently. Don't feel bad when you say no. The next one, you gotta take risks. You can't live in fear, especially in your 20s. This is the time where you should be exploring. You should be figuring yourself out, right? But you can't do that if you're stuck in your comfort zone, if you don't want to get out there, if you don't want to travel, if you don't want to learn new things, you got to get out there. You got to get out there. When you take risk, that's going to help you grow, right? When you take the risk, that's when you get the reward. On the other side of risk, usually is reward. On the other side of fear, usually is reward. So if something scares you, that's a good sign that you need to do it. Simple as that. Unless it's crack. Don't do that. All right. Next one. You gotta learn how to turn your weaknesses into strengths. Us as men, even when you get past your 20s, you should always be trying to self-improve. But especially when you're in your 20s, you're not a finished product by any means. If anything, you're just getting your feet under you. So whatever it is you need to improve on, whatever you feel like is a weakness of yours, then you should take the time to work on it. Turn your weaknesses to strengths. All right? Because you could be strong in one area, this and that, but if you weak in another area, then yeah, it don't work like that. You got to work on everything, right? Because you want to be the best version of yourself. You don't want to be the half best version of yourself. You don't want to be partly the best version of this. You need to be the whole thing. You need to work on everything. Simple as that. Don't be lazy, right? Work on your body, work on your physique, work on your mindset, work on your finances. Just work, improve. That's the name of the game, improvement. Next thing, you need to learn how to negotiate. Especially you're going to be, getting jobs, working, and in your career, you're going to have to negotiate, right? Negotiate your salary, your pay rate, whatever. But you need to learn how to negotiate because you always want to get what you're worth. You don't want to let nobody shortchange you. You got to recognize your value, all right? So don't just settle, especially with jobs. Don't just settle for what they're going to offer you because, of course, they're going to offer you as least as possible, right? You got to be willing to know your worth and negotiate that thing. Simple as that, all right? The next one, man, learn to forgive yourself. All my young men out there in their 20s, learn to forgive yourself, right? Because one thing we going to do is we going to make mistakes. You're going to make mistakes all throughout your 20s, right? But the thing about it is you're going to learn from the mistakes too. So when you do happen to slip up, when you do happen to make that mistake, don't be beating yourself up about it, Instead, say, you know what, it's good. I took that L. I'm going to take it on the chin, and I'm going to be right back at it again. Simple as that, right? Don't get depressed. Don't get down. Don't get none of that. You gon' make mistakes. Use them mistakes as learning tools, right? And forgive yourself, because if you don't forgive yourself, nobody will. And you won't be able to forgive others until you forgive yourself. Simple as that. Next, never compare yourself to others, right? The thief of joy is comparison, right? You will never be fully happy. You will never be fully satisfied until you stop comparing what other people got, right? You don't need to look at other people's lives. You don't need to look at other people's pockets, right? You shouldn't be counting nobody's pockets. Whatever it is somebody got, don't worry about it, because for one, you got a different road. Everybody travels at their own pace. Everybody got to take a different journey to get to their destination. So just because somebody else has something, right? For one, you don't know what they had to go through to get it, right? Because all you seeing is the highlights, but you don't know what they had to sacrifice. You don't know what they had to go through just to get whatever it is that you jealous of, right? So you should never be jealous. Don't compare yourself. You got to be happy with what you got. If you're not happy and grateful with what you got, then you won't get more, right? It's the law of gratitude. Be appreciative of what you got, and God will bless you with more. Simple as that. Next, don't be afraid to pivot in life, meaning don't be afraid to change directions. Like sometimes, a lot of people go to college or have plans to do this and that, and it may not work out. It's okay. It's not the end of the world, right? Instead, you could navigate, pivot, and do something different, right? You can always reinvent yourself. You can always go back, try it again, or try something else. Don't feel like you stuck doing something. Like, oh, my parents said I got to go to college and get this degree, so I'm just going to sit here for 4 years and suffer. No, don't do that. This is your life. Remember that, right? If college not for you, pivot. Do something else. Simple as that. Don't try to live for anybody else but yourself. Don't be scared. Don't be scared to change game plans, all right? Next one. Don't rack up debt. Do your best not to rack up a bunch of debt. Talking about college, that's one way to do it. But another way is just by not saving, not investing, and just not spending wisely, right? What you spend now and how you take care of your money now will affect your future. So if you put a little money aside and you invest right now, that money will build, right? Then later on, you're going to have what? Way more. But you got to learn how to just, for one, control your impulses. You don't need to be buying everything. You don't need to spend your money on everything, right? Remember, you got to have a long-term plan. You don't just want to live for the right now, okay? So It's okay. Save some money. Put some money up, right? Don't get credit cards if you know you ain't going to pay it off. Because if you got bad credit, yeah, it's going to be tough for you. You don't want to do that to yourself. Be smart about it. Next, don't burn any bridges. I don't care if, sometimes people do stuff to us and we just cut them right off. And we like, F them. But the thing about that is, life is funny. You never know when you tend to need somebody, right? That's why they say how you treat people on the way up, them the same people you're going to see on the way down, and they're going to treat you the same way. So you don't want to burn your bridges. You never know who you're going to need, right? You may need a favor from somebody. So always, to the best of your abilities, right, try to leave off on good terms with whoever. Now, if they the ones tripping, okay, that's on them. But as far as you, all we could control is ourselves. Always try to leave on good terms with people, all right? Last but not least, only spend time with people who add value to your life. Only spend time with people who love you. Only spend time with people who fully accept you for you. Don't waste your time trying to prove yourself to somebody. Don't waste your time trying to, change the way you live in order for somebody else to feel okay about it. Like, no, forget that. If somebody don't accept you for who you are within reason, I'm not saying be an asshole, be a bad person, nothing like that, but people should always, the people around you are always going to love you. They're going to add the value. Them the ones that matter, the one that add value, whether it's a relationship, whether it's just, family members, whoever. Only keep people around that's positive and add value. Leave the negative ones to the side. Simple as that. All right, y'all, that's it for this video, man. Like, comment, subscribe. Give your boy some feedback. Let me know how y'all feeling, all right? All right, till next time, hopefully y'all have a great rest of the day. And just always remember,